You are tuned in to the After Party Live, and we are continuing the conversation with family law attorney and now judicial candidate Heather Nicole. This time, we're switching gears from criminal court to family court, and we're diving into one of the most talked about celebrity breakups of the year, Cardi B and Offset. From rumors of infidelity to questions about custody, money, and prenups, the internet is full of opinions, but today we want the legal truth. So let's talk about what really happens when love, fame, and law collide. How you doing, Heather?
Hi, Montana. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine now. I'm not gonna have no problems out of you talking about Cardi. Okay,
No, I'm strictly here to give my opinion. That's it. That's all.
okay.
And the truth.
And the truth. Okay.
Hmm.
Y'all, we had some behind the scenes going on. Heather is here representing Cardi, and y'all know I'm representing for the Barbs. But we're not gonna get into that today. Today we're gonna get on into this celebrity divorce. Okay, so listen. What's the first thing that typically happens when a celebrity like Cardi B files for divorce?
Well, typically, someone in the clerk's office probably tips off the media and then they come and tell us about it. And then the next thing you know, their divorce documents are posted on TMZ and the rest is history.
How are divorce filings different when both parties are both rich and famous?
Well, I could imagine that there would be a stronger desire for privacy, for any documents to be sealed, records to be sealed, any personal statements to be sealed. I'm sure privacy is the big thing for them.
Does the presence of a prenup, does it simplify things or can it actually make things more complicated?
Well, it's designed to simplify things. That is the intent. Now, just through the course of marriage with personalities and different things, the on the back end of that does not guarantee that someone's not going to try to set it aside or make it so that the agreement is null and void. I mean, you have that. If you're able to prove certain things, you have that right to challenge it. So I guess the better answer to your question is it depends.
What does irreconcilable differences actually mean in a legal sense?
It just means basically we're not getting along anymore. Neither of us wants to be here.
And that's pretty much what Cardi B has cited. She
Yeah.
said that they are growing apart,
Hmm.
constant arguments as the reasons for her divorce from Offset. And she's also stated it was due to lies, gaslighting, and constant emotional chaos. Okay. Though she has clarified that cheating was not the sole cause, despite recent infidelity from Offset, okay, and her too, because she's pregnant. But we ain't gonna get into all of that yet. How do judges in a situation where both parents are financially capable, how will a judge decide which parent gets primary custody?
Well, fortunately, that determination is not based on financial status. So, I mean, obviously, you would think or hope that that would be the primary factor, but that's not, and it shouldn't be. The primary things or factors that the courts typically consider would be the relationship between that parent and the child or children, the decision making, who's making these decisions on a daily basis regarding where they go to school, who picks them up, who meets with the teachers, who's taking them to the doctor, who's taking them to the dentist. Those are the things that parental involvement really plays a factor, not necessarily who's the most financially secure or stable.
But now, if they have nannies, and assistants that help with a lot of that, like, how would that work though?
Well, I mean, you would just use your staff when it's your time, and I use my staff when it's my time.
According to Cardi, she feels that Offset is holding her hostage because he's demanding millions of dollars. He wants one of the property and his taxes to be paid in order to finalize the divorce. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I am none of those things. But what I am is an experienced family law attorney. And what I can tell you, typically in those situations, there's a punitive element at play because we as human beings tend to disguise our emotions with power plays. Deep down, if you just stripped Offset to his bare bones, I guarantee you deep down he probably does not want the divorce.
Okay.
And typically, a lot of times you will see that the party who doesn't really want the divorce, whether they're the reason for the divorce, is irrelevant. But if they don't really want the divorce, they tend to put up or make more demands, more unreasonable requests, because they want to feel that they're still in control or have some sort of upper hand, even if they can't convince you to stay or their pride won't allow it. It just depends. So from a psychological standpoint, what I'm hearing you say that he's doing is not that unheard of.
Right. You see that all the
I
time.
see it all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Now, if let's just say, because I agree, I feel like that was a big reasoning why he was doing that too, is because he didn't really want it. In a situation where a lot of assets they have jointly, their own songs together. How does that work? Like, who gets the royalties? Who gets the.
It depends on how it was all written up to begin with. I'm sure when they were contracting or at the contract negotiations table, they factored in, ownership percentages, residuals, all of that. And, I'm assuming, and I'm pretty confident when I say this, I'm sure they've had lawyers involved since day one. Not necessarily because they were anticipating a divorce, but because of what they do. They just probably already have legal teams that look out for them.
We don't think Offset really, we know he doesn't want this, right?
Right.
Now, if a couple publicly reconciles after filing for divorce, what happens legally? Like, do they have to refile from scratch?
If they want to divorce?
Yeah.
Yes. Once that divorce petition or divorce case is closed and it was dismissed, then you would need to restart the filing process.
What do you think is a common misconception regular people have when they compare celebrity divorces to their own?
That's actually a really interesting question. I would say the assumptions or presumptions about what they're entitled to. For one thing, every state is different. For two, the length of marriage makes differences or can make a difference in divorce cases. If you've been married, I think I saw somewhere that they were married for 7 years. Yeah. I had no idea they had been married that long. For me,
you thought it was less.
I thought it was less.
Oh, okay.
This time has just gone by so fast.
Because remember, she didn't even tell us at first that she was married.
Right. So, but it didn't feel like 7 years. It felt more like pandemic era or something like that. I didn't realize it had been that long. But even though I'm commenting on how long it's been, that's not long.
Yeah.
That's not even 10 years.
Yeah.
And I know, like in Texas, there's a 10-year threshold for certain things or certain rights and entitlements to even kick in during a divorce. So there's so many different factors that people just scrolling think that they know or understand, and they don't. They don't know.
Have you ever had a client that wanted rights or things based on what they saw in the media from a
not
video?
from the media, but from their friends.
Oh, okay.
Who live in Alaska.
Okay.
Or their friend who had a divorce in Maine. Yeah. Or their friend who got a divorce 30 years ago. And there's been at least 20 legislative updates since then.
Right.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, that people love to compare. And I get it. I totally get it. But the laws are always changing. Remember, I was just in San Antonio in August for this very reason. This was the legislative year, and we had to go for the Advanced Family Law Conference to find out what's new. And in Texas, the child support threshold went up, So, I mean, there's just constant evolution, constant change. And that's also why elections matter, because who you're voting in, that's who's writing child support laws. That's who's writing divorce. That's who's writing those things. So you come in, you're upset with the judge, but technically, and in most situations, one would hope that the judge is just following what the family code says. But who wrote the family code? That's what we need to pay attention to as well.
How does your role as a family court attorney, now you've been in the courtroom for over 10 years, right? How has that, based on what you've seen in the courtroom, based on what you've seen with clients, etc., how has that shaped your view on marriage and relationships?
Wow.
You wasn't expecting that one.
No, not about me. Let's see. How has it impacted? I mean, because to say that it hasn't would just be blatantly dishonest. The funny thing is, though, once you see certain things, you just can't unsee them. And me seeing or having seen certain dynamics that I may not have necessarily known existed prior to practicing, that's something that without you realizing, it can invoke fear, it can invoke guardedness, it can invoke, just different reactions that you don't even realize that you feel until you're in that moment because of what you've seen.
Now, what's one lesson ordinary couples could actually learn from how celebrity divorces are handled?
Well, this may not be an answer. This may be an unexpected answer.
Okay.
But I think that no matter if you're famous, not famous, rich, not rich, kind of wealthy, kind of not, whatever you do in the dark will come to the light. And that's a guarantee.
For
That's
sure.
something that I definitely know from seeing and being involved in all of these kinds of cases.
Attorney Heather Nicole, thank you for walking us through the legal layers of celebrity divorce, from custody to prenups to what really happens when the cameras are off. Okay. It's refreshing to hear it explained with clarity and expertise. Please let the people know how they can stay in touch with you.
Well, they can follow me at She Got Him Custody on Instagram. You can also follow my campaign page at Johnson for Judge. That's Johnson, FOR Judge on Instagram as well.
All right. Thank you.